So, should teachers get paid as much as NFL players? Well, coming right up. What's up, y'all? Welcome back to Common Sense, Logic, and Reason. And as always, thank y'all for joining me today. And I always greatly appreciate any viewers out there. But we know that the teaching profession is a very thankless job. I mean, it's kind of like the police officers and the fire departments. You really truly don't appreciate it until it's not there anymore. And teachers aren't very highly paid in their job, and they have to deal with a lot. They have to deal with the children, put together lesson plans and such, but they don't get paid a whole lot of money. However, they know that going into this, that's one thing that has to be taken into consideration. There's nobody out there who wanted to go into education and be a teacher under a guise of they're going to make hundreds of thousands of dollars, unless they had plans on being professors, because the college professors make that a high salary. But if you go into being a teacher, you go knowing you're not going to make a lot of money. So you go into that knowing that, which again, if you wanted to make a lot of money, then you shouldn't become a teacher. But when it comes down to salaries, for some reason, teacher salary are always getting compared to athletes, and specifically for some reason, always NFL players for the most. They don't compare them to CEOs. They don't compare them to entrepreneurs or doctors or lawyers or college professors. It's always athletes, and specifically for the most part NFL players. And you always see the argument, well, teachers have to deal with so much. They have to babysit, they have to be disciplinarians, they have to be counselors, they have to try to teach these students, and all football players do throw, catch, run, and tackle. But should teachers make as much money as NFL players? Well, no, they shouldn't. And there's a reason why. Anytime you're dealing with salaries or money in any form or fashion, there's always three principles that you're dealing with. You're dealing with quantity versus quality versus market value. And this is the issue that you're always going to deal with whenever money is involved or when you're dealing with economics. So when we talking about teachers, basically in a matter of teachers, we talking quantity. I mean, in 2019, there were 3.7 million teachers in America. Now, that's a small percentage of the population, but that's a lot of teachers, which means that you have an quantity, an abundance of something, and anytime you have more of something, it's going to be worth less. The less of something that you have, the more it's going to be worth. The more of something that you have, the less it's going to be worth. So since we have such an abundance of teachers, well, teachers won't be overly paid. Meanwhile, we dealing with NFL players. In this case, we dealing with quality. I mean, NFL have 53-man rosters, and they can keep up to 10 players on their practice squads, which I don't see why any NFL player wouldn't keep as many people on the practice squad as they can. So we're looking at 63-man rosters, and if you have 32 teams in the league, that's 2016 players. 2016 players compared to 3.7 million. And again, these are the cream of the crop of all the people who play football in America. From high school, college, to the pros, something like only 2% of the people make it to the NFL. So you're dealing with quality here. You're dealing with the cream of the crop, and only the cream of the crop are getting paid. This is why in the NFL in 2019, basically it'll break in something like 15 plus billion. So that's why NFL players are getting paid millions, because you have basically you have a profession with very limited people, and this profession, the industry is making billions. Now, if there were only 2,000 teachers in America, or hell, even if you say there were only 10,000 teachers in America, well, teachers will probably be making hundreds of thousands of dollars, a million, because there's less teachers to go around, and thus teacher profession becomes a quality thing. But anyway, so you can say that teachers are underpaid, which I have to agree in a lot of cases they are, but that's just part of the industry, and that will be with anything. And you can say that NFL players are overpaid. but it's overpaid based upon the fact that there's only so many NFL players, and people are going out there and spending, $100, couple of $100 on tickets to fill, 50, 60, 70,000 people, 80,000 people to fill stadiums, and then going in there and buying overinflated food in the concession stands. So we talk about how the COVID numbers is inflated. Well, COVID numbers ain't got nothing on the inflation of the food inside these stadiums. People pay to park, and then you have the TV deals, and this is why the NFL took in 15 billion, not even including the money that teams take in, Rican. So NFL players should be making millions. Now, the day that if there were 3.7 million professional football players out here, then they wouldn't make millions. They would make hundreds. But that's just how it is. Quantity versus quality versus market value. So teachers shouldn't be paid what police officers are being paid. Anyway, y'all, that's my view on this whole argument that I've heard so many times in the past. And as always, y'all, until next time.